Welcome back. We have managed to get by the abominable snowman, and now we have to get past this abominable wall, which is probably one of the harder agility elements of this game. I think it's probably even more difficult than the path leading up to Mananan. So, saving often is the key. Oh, come on, I was like 2 inches above the ground. You have to go vertically. Ah! Okay, that was my fault. There. It's not actually really a maze of such. Boy, are these caves dark. Because you'll just come out the other side and have to get to the next reachable cave. The only really sort of misleading thing is that it looks like you might be able to get to this cave from here, but you can't. You can only get to this one. So we're gonna have to climb down here and then go around and then go there, and that will take us to the exit. So let's do that, saving along the way, of course, because there are a couple of tight spots here that we have to navigate. And I fail. And I fail again. That's better. Although the caves are dark, we apparently don't need any torches or whatever to get through them, fortunately. And I made it. Okay. Well, let's hope that this is actually the right way to go. This is a very steep and dangerous cliff. Numerous caves honeycomb its face. You could get lost in the caves if you survive the cliff. Well, they're not that difficult, actually. Well, the cliff is, but the caves, I mean. Well, let's hope this takes us to Daventry. Otherwise, all this is for nothing. But since there was no other way we could go, I'm guessing it'll be okay. And yes, you can still fall down here, so you carefully make your way down the eastern side of these mountains. The path travels along the top of a narrow ridge. Looking back, you see the snowy peaks through which you so recently journeyed. Phew! You wipe your brow as you feel the worst is now behind you. Yes, except for the dragon that we need to fight. Well, this is the last of the dangerous path. And we are on solid ground again. That's the same message. So, let's see. Are we in Daventry? Oops, you slipped. I think they actually do that to prevent you from going back up, although I'm not entirely sure. No, you can get back up. Okay. We don't want to go back up. This looks vaguely familiar. You look upward and view the mountain range you so arduously crossed. Well, you made it to Daventry. But what is this? It looks like a cave leading deep into the mountain. You see evidence that a door once covered this cave entrance. Huge boulders lie scattered about, apparently from tumbling down the mountain. Yes, this is the door from King's Quest I, leading up to the land of the clouds where the giant used to live. However, before we check that out, I want to go left. Daventry does not appear to have improved much. The countryside of Daventry looks as if it had once been beautiful, but now trees are charred, a chasm splits the earth, and wildflowers no longer grow. Nearby is an old, broken-down well that someone has filled with rocks. It is useless now. I know that well too, even though it was not actually next to the cave in the first game. But anyway, And it seems that Daventry has fallen even further into decay. Man, they really are lucky, aren't they? First they get King Edward, who loses the three treasures, let the kingdom fall into ruin. Then they get Graham, who regains the three treasures, but thanks to this dragon, apparently still lets the kingdom fall into ruin. Man, no wonder this place has so few inhabitants. If I lived here, I would have left a long time ago. Let's see. Hey! You stare at the run-down shack. Upon the porch, a withered old gnome rocks in a creaky old rocking chair, whistling a merry tune. The shack leans heavily to one side, and you wonder why it doesn't fall. Guess it must be magic. You speak directly to the old gnome. He chuckles softly to himself and replies, "It's about time you got here, lad. I mean, Prince Alexander. Welcome home. Heaven knows we'd need you. Daventry's been suffering for years now, since the despicable dragon came." The old gnome narrows his eyes to slits and leans forward in his chair. "That monster demanded the sacrifice of your poor sister, Princess Rosella, and I'm afraid time is running out. Your parents, the king and queen, are suffering such grief they have locked themselves in yon castle and refuse to see anyone." Staring intently at you, the gnome goes on. "It's up to you, Alexander. Your country and family need you. It's written in the wind." The wizened gnome relaxes and settles back in his chair. He begins whistling again. It's nice that he's whistling this merry tune while the kingdom around him is crumbling and Rosella is about to die and there's an evil dragon and whatever. He's not letting it bother him. I think this is actually the same gnome from the Rumpelstiltskin puzzle in the first game. And in the distance we see Castle Daventry, which looks like it did in the original version of the first game, except the moat is apparently dry. You gaze sadly at the deteriorated castle. It's obvious that it was once proud and beautiful, but now its banners are torn, but its stones and statue work crumbling, and the moat has been drained. It's as if no one cares anymore. Can we go inside? Not sure. The huge doors of the castle are bolted shut. Try as you might, you cannot open them. I guess we need to save Rosella first. Nothing here. It's the same message. Okay, on second thought, let's not go here. It is a silly place. Stop whistling. Why don't you try rescuing Rosella? Why does it have to be up to me? I spent the last 17 years under the fist of an evil wizard, and now you're expecting me to do your dirty work for you? Man. Why can't Graham take care of this dragon? I mean, it's not like he hasn't killed dragons before. Well, since it's the only place left to go, I guess we have to go up the stairs here. This path looks a lot different than it did in the previous game, in the previous time we went here. Although I'm not entirely sure what it looked like in the original version of King's Quest 1, so it might have looked like this there, but it doesn't in the remake anyway. And this looks difficult, and I think you can actually fall, yes. But just use the number pad 9 key to walk diagonally, and you'll be fine. Repeat the procedure here. It's a lot easier to walk this path than it was to get up the beanstalk, or the path in the remake anyway. Finally, the top of the cave. You notice bright lights streaming in from outside the cave. Looking down, you see the crumbly stone steps precariously descending into the bowels of the mountain. Well, hopefully, Rosella's up here, otherwise we have no idea where to go. Okay. It feels strangely hot up here. Yep, it's the land of the clouds, alright. Yeah, I'm just saving every 2 steps, but anyway. Well, I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. Looking around, you see clouds surrounding this small bit of land like a wide, cottony sea. Charred stumps of trees spoil the scene. I guess the giant no longer lives here. Uh-oh. A huge, fire-breathing dragon is here, and it has seen you! Hypnotized by its baleful glare, you stand frozen in your tracks. What a way to go, ending up as a dragon's barbecue! Oops. Well, on the plus side, we found Rosella. On the downside, we weren't able to save her. Well, I guess we'll try to save our sister in the next video.